morning, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Pep's Corner. Today, we will continue our book, Plant Cells, and we will be finishing our book, Plant Cells, today. We will read from pages 38 through 43. Our focus and purpose is posted on the screen. Again, that's our intention for reading today. So go ahead, make sure you grab your book and have it in hand and are actively reading and following along. Remember, boys and girls, to reread a second time so you are fully prepared for shared reading. Let's begin. Page 38. How do plants get rid of waste? Plants eat, drink, and breathe just like you, but they have their own ways of doing it. And like you, they produce waste. Plants do not take in solid foods, only gases, water, and nutrients. As a result, their waste products are only gases, water, and in the form of water vapor and waste chemicals. As plants produce waste, cells store that waste in central vacuoles. As water moves in and out of a plant cell, it mixes with chemical waste. Plant cells get rid of water vapor and chemical waste through their pores. Osmosis. Plants rely on a process called osmosis to move water into a root from the soil. Osmosis is the flow of liquids or gases through membranes. It allows water to move into and out of plants. Transpiration. Then water must move up into the leaves. The process of moving water from roots to pass through the leaves is transpiration. Think of a plant stem like a straw. The water starts in the soil. Cells that have the least water suck up water through the roots. Water moves from the cells that have more water up the plant stem and into the cells in the leaves. The water in the leaf cells is used in photosynthesis, which means that the leaf cells always have a need for more water. Water everywhere. Leaves release massive amounts of water vapor. For example, it releases from 11,400 to about 15,100 liters of water vapor a day. That's like the equivalent of 3,000 to 4,000 gallons. A large oak tree transpires more than about 150,000 liters or about 40,000 gallons of water each day. Getting rid of waste. In addition to transpiration, plants have their own ways of getting rid of waste. Some plants actively pass waste chemicals back into the soil. When plants compete for space, they can drop toxins into the soil to kill off pushy neighbors. Another way to get rid of waste is to get rid of the plant parts that store waste. Flowers that grow from bulbs, such as tulips and irises, shed their stalks. The stalks die, getting rid of plant waste and leaving the bulb underground to produce a new flower for the next year. Losing leaves and other waste. In the autumn, leaves on deciduous trees, which are trees that shed their leaves, change color and fall off. Trees have absorbed metals such as lead and cadmium through their roots. These metals are called heavy metals and are toxic to plants and humans. Plant cells move the metals into vacuoles in the cells in their leaves. The metal in part determine the color of the fall leaves. Tropical trees do not drop their leaves in autumn. They get rid of chemical waste in gums, resins, and saps. Sometimes trees do not get rid of their waste. They store it in the cells in the center of the trunk. The waste chemicals cause the wood in the trunk to darken in color. The wood is called ebony or hard, black wood called heartwood. Ebony and heartwood stop using water and minerals. They serve as storage for some waste and prevent them from spreading into the rest of the plant. How do scientists work with plant cells? Ancient Egyptian farmers grew different types of wheat to increase the number of crops. Ancient people in Peru developed more than 3,000 varieties of potato. These cultures use biotechnology to find better ways to grow crops. Biotechnology uses living things as tools. Here's an example of biotechnology at work. Scientists identify a type of wheat that produces more grain than usual, but that wheat species gets disease easily. Scientists also identify wheat that resists disease, but does not make much grain. They work with the two strains of wheat to produce a new wheat that resists disease and yields plenty of grain. Plant scientists also use crossbreeding to develop new plant species. Crossbreeding mixes characteristics from two varieties of the same species. Crossbreeding lets a scientist mix white roses and red roses, or grow pink roses, for example. It helped develop a bigger potato that is perfect for baking, and ears of corn with nice straight rows of kernels. Scientist Spotlight, Norman Borlaug. In the 1960s, U.S. food scientist Norman Borlaug, 1914 to 2009, developed a short stalk, high yield wheat that grows with very little water. For this new wheat, Borlaug won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970. Since then, Borlaug's wheat has saved more than 225 million people from starvation. Think about grapes. People like the fruit, but not the seeds. Scientists took grapes with few seeds and crossed them with other grapes with few seeds. Eventually, new grape species produce seedless grapes. Nature makes these changes often. Scientists found ways to give nature a hand. The result is more and better varieties of fruits, vegetables, and grains to feed an overgrowing population. DNA in the cells of a seedless grape does not send the message for the plant to make seeds.